Hi everybody, it's Songkran. Wow, here we are, another year. Songkran is the Thai New Year. Here in Thailand, we get 3 New Years every year. We get the Western New Year, for January the 1st. We get the Chinese New Year, which is a big celebration here in Thailand. And of course, we get the very own Thai New Year, which is the biggest holiday. So I'm sort of all ready, as you can see, for Songkran 2025. Sometimes you sort of go, gee, 25th year of the new century, where did all that go? When I was younger, I was imagining, oh, wow, one day I'll be 41 years old when we reach the new century. How old is that, and how far is that away? Here we are 25 years later. Anyway, I digress. I won't talk about my old age now. Thank you very much for joining in. Now, I have to say, it's a good start. I have to say up front, last night we had so much rain here. Now, at the moment, it's a bit overcast, but there's no wind, and it looks like there's probably not going to be any rain today, although it might be overcast in this little part of the world, just 20 minutes north of Phuket. But it rained most of last night. It kept me up. It was that heavy. So just amazing. I would say that we probably got the April, the usual sort of amount of rain for April just in that one night last night, which is an unusual wet start to Songkran, which is sort of the theme of today's program. There has been rain just about everywhere in Thailand over the last week, which is sort of unseasonal. Usually we're right in the middle of the hot, not so much the middle, but getting to the end of the hot season in Thailand. Of course, Thailand famous for its 3 seasons, hot, hotter and hottest. But between, say, February and April now is usually the hot season. And as far as this part of Thailand's concerned, and just from what I've heard or seen looking at the weather around, I don't really need to wear those, it has been a fairly mild, hot season so far. I've only had the air conditioner on in this house maybe 2 or 3 days this year. Last year, I think I had it on straight for about 2 months. It was stinking hot just about every single day with no respite. But last night we did have a lot of rain, which means today it's quite humid, which we're not unfamiliar with. So, a wet start, an unusually wet start to Songkran. So I should say, Sawadi Pi Mai. Songkran is actually tomorrow, and the holiday for Songkran is going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. They're the designated Thai official holidays. So I'm interested in what you're doing for Songkran. I'm going to point you towards some websites that'll help you to find out where you can celebrate Songkran. I know a lot of you would say, oh, I did it once or twice and I'm over it and I'm staying home. That's fine. So I'd like to hear about your memories of Songkran, what you're doing this year. You're going to go and sit in a cinema and pretend it's not happening. Whether you've got something organised, just be interested. A lot of Thais do sort of go back home for Songkran. So, of course, Bangkok being the big population centre, a lot of people heading out of Bangkok. That would have been happening from Thursday, mostly yesterday. Last night, the traffic would have been horrendous heading out of Bangkok. And today they will be doing so as well, arriving home so they can be spending Sunday, tomorrow, Songkran Day, with their families. It'll probably start off at the temple. Would be a bit more of a traditional start. There'd be the gentle pouring of water over a Buddha image, over the hands of the monks or older members of the family. So it usually starts for traditional Thais in a fairly traditional manner, but then it's on for young and old. And as we know, over the years, the last 20 or 30 years, it's increasingly become, and in some people's minds, especially plenty of foreigners, it's just one great big shit fight with water. And it can get pretty vigorous. And in some parts of Thailand, it can go on not just for Songkran Day, but for a week after. Now, I'm very sure in, say, Silom, I'm very sure in maybe along the foreshore in Pattaya, maybe Walking Street. I'm very sure in parts of Sukhumvit, probably Bangla Road and parts of Patong, that Songkran has already started, even though they're sort of cheating. It's the day before. But usually in most parts of Thailand, like this little town here, there will be people running around with water pistols tomorrow for a few hours in the middle of the afternoon. Then they'll all go home and it'll all be forgotten. Now, that's not the case in the tourist zones. It does go on for a bit longer than that. So what I've done is I've put down below in the description of this video 4 locations: Pattaya, Bangkok, Phuket and Chiang Mai, which are the focus for Songkran water fights, the sort of the water fight type celebrations. Now, some of them do also give a list of places you can go and celebrate a Songkran in a more traditional or family-friendly way. Most of the municipalities and provinces have set up family-friendly, alcohol-free Songkran celebrations in parts of their towns as well. So the links are in the description. I'm not going to go through them one by one because that would be boring as batshit, or more boring than usual, and we certainly don't want that. So, yes, have a think about that if you do want to go and find out what's happening in Pattaya, Phuket, Bangkok and Chiang Mai. And as I said, they are the main focus of the big, expensive, organised Songkran celebrations. Wherever you are in Thailand, Hua Hin, up in Khon Kaen, Lampung, wherever you are, there are going to be Songkran celebrations. But they're going to be sort of limited to the day. But a few suggestions, a few safety things I'd like to suggest before we get on to some of the heavier topics. I wanted to start with Songkran and then talk about post-Songkran. And of course, we also want to hear from you, and got a lot of people online already about your memories of Songkran and also your thoughts about what's going to be happening with Thai tourism post-Songkran. There are a lot of moving parts at the moment, geopolitically, which are going to have an impact on Thailand, whether it likes it or not. Thailand's got a relatively small economy compared to some of its, well, not so much near neighbours, because Thailand's got the second largest economy here in Southeast Asia. But when you've got, for example, the US and China starting to have a tariff war, there's no other words you can put to it, then there is going to be some fallout, and Thailand will be one of the places that suffer that. So we can talk about that a little bit later as well. But for now, here are, if you are going to do Songkran, I just want to give you a few tips. Firstly, and if you do nothing else, wear eye goggles, because the stuff that they're shooting at you isn't necessarily Perrier water or water that's even come from the tap or from a bottle. In many cases, certainly later in the afternoon, and if there has been a bit of rain around, or if there's a lot of other people around there, what is on the ground is often sucked up into those super soakers and then just fired back in your face. Now, what's in that water on the ground? Who knows? It's a collection of what's been there for the past year, since the last Songkran. It's a collection of all the water that's dribbling off people running around for their Songkran celebrations. A lot of people don't even bother trying to find a public toilet during the day. So there's all sorts of things floating around beneath your knees. And you could be wading your way through, that much water. And I guarantee there are people who are just sucking it straight off the ground and then shooting it in your face. You don't want whatever's in that water to be in your eyes. Your ears are sort of susceptible as well. I'll just have a quick drink. Yeah, you don't want whatever's in that water in your ears as well. So you might think about popping some ear, what are they called? Those little foam things. That'll just keep some of the water out of your ears. Your feet might get away with it unless you've got cuts or sores, but parts of your face and any entry area may be susceptible. The other entry areas are probably going to be okay. Beyond that, just wear a light shirt and shorts because you are going to get wet. If you step outside on Songkran Day anywhere in Thailand, you are almost 100% guaranteed to get wet. Even if you're just walking along the road and people come up to you with a bucket or a water pistol and you go, oh, no, don't wet me. They will. So, and it's not that they're being nasty or aggressive or anything. It's just part of the celebrations. In some ways, it's sort of seen as a blessing to be wetted by a Thai on that day. So, yeah, look, anything can happen on Songkran Day. The other thing you don't want to be in is either an Armani suit or on a motorbike. Because if you're on the motorbike, again, you're just in a bit of danger. Again, not because Thais are going to be aggressive or nasty to you, but they may just come running off the side of the road with a bucket full of icy water and just hurl it at you as you're on your motorbike. Now, some people might go, and just keep on going. Other people might fall over. It's not called the 7 days of danger for nothing. And that's the other thing that starts, I think it starts today. It may have started yesterday, but whenever it starts, the road campaign called the 7 days of danger is now in force. And every day we will get published numbers of the people who have been injured and died on Thailand's roads. And they die in numbers higher than any other time of the year during the 7 days of danger, the Songkran holiday. This is the holiday where people not only spend more time on the roads, getting back to their families, zipping around town, going to celebrations, but it's also a period when they're more likely to be drinking. And whether you like it or not, it is just a particularly dangerous time on Thailand's roads. Suffice to say, if you don't need to be on Thailand's roads during this time, it might be a good opportunity to stay home. Just the other thing I was going to say for a bit of warning, and I don't want to be a dampener on your Songkran celebrations, but you should wear some sort of suitable footwear. Now, you might think that like old sneakers or like shoes and socks might be a safe thing to wear, but really you're going to end up, they're going to end up completely wet, completely and utterly. And all that chafing and running around, you're just going to end up with blisters. And with blisters, you're going to have another point of entry for that putrid water that's floating around. You're best in a good pair of sandals or even some sturdy thongs, if there's any such thing. A thong is an Australian expression for flip-flops, the sort of, the two-pointed sandal things, plastic things. I know they're a bit flimsy, but you're probably better off in those than sneakers for sure. You are going to get wet. What am I going to do? Well, I'm probably going to stay home because I'll go and watch some of the celebrations. I'll be driving past. I'll be trying to avoid walking around. It's not that I don't want to sort of join in, but I did it for years. And I don't know, I'm sort of over it. I'm too old. And, I don't want to get my hair wet. So I've got my own reasons. So plenty to talk about. Let's have a talk about what you've been doing over Songkran in the past. What are your memories? I've got Dina here to help me. Are you going to say hello, Dina? Hello? Couldn't give a shit. Couldn't care less. And we've got Daisy down here on the ground, recovering well for those people who are asking. Still hobbling around on 3 legs, but she's starting to put a bit more weight on the other leg. And I would love a coffee. Thank you very much. So thanks for joining in, everybody. And there are, as I mentioned, links in the description below to festivities, organised festivities, either commercially or by the province, for Pattaya, Bangkok, Chiang Mai and Phuket. Yes, there are organised celebrations in other parts of Thailand. If you go to huahintoday.com, I'm sure they would have a list of some of the things happening around Hua Hin. Up in Chiang Mai, I'm not sure. I mean, Chiang Mai really is the focus, and they do Songkran particularly well as the garbage truck goes past in the back. Okay. A few naughty suggestions here. Hi to everybody. Scott, Daryl. What do we got? Agent Dark 64 says, nice glasses, Tim. Well, thank you very much. They could do with a bit of a clean. Yeah, I do. I go through these, a couple of pairs a year, I suppose. I buy them from 7-Eleven. They're just cheapies. But if I bought nice sunglasses, I would lose them. Probably even more often than I lose the cheap ones. These cost about 200 baht. They're very good. They're polarised. And I keep a pair in the car and a pair nearby. Anytime I go outside in Thailand, I always wear a pair of sunglasses. I had my cataracts removed 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm doing my best to protect my eyes for the remainder of the race. So, and I would warmly recommend, as I digress again, that if you have got your own eyes, your own lenses in your eyes, mine have been removed and replaced with artificial lenses, but you do your best to look after them as well as you get to my age and you spend a lot of time outdoors. I used to do a lot of sailing when I was younger, and I was getting a lot of sunlight in my eyes. Yes, I wore sunglasses, but the damage was still done. So yeah, just anytime you go outside, look after your eyes and wear a pair of half decent sunglasses. Peter says, good morning from Shanghai. And we will mention sort of obliquely the tariff situation a little bit later in this program because we do want to try and investigate the rest of this year for tourism in Thailand. Yeah, it's a lot of foreign tourists have flown in to enjoy Songkran. It's become a bit of a tourist attraction. People seeing people running around drinking alcohol, firing water pistols at each other. That looks like fun. I think I'll go there. But we're sort of a little bit worried locally about what's going to happen post-Songkran, and we'll go through some of the headwinds. Colin says, Colin Spring, sounds funny I suppose, but after a few years of getting soaked, I really enjoyed being out of the country and away from the carnage and terrible holiday road toll during the holiday period. It's certainly worth remembering, whilst people are running around having a great time, there are countless Thais just wiping themselves off on the road, mostly younger, mostly male, mostly on motorbikes, but it is a tragedy. And for whatever reason, Thailand doesn't seem to want to go hard on its road toll during Songkran or any other time of the year. It's something that they acknowledge, it's something that they count the cost. They set up all the roadside checkpoints, which are places you can go and sort of either have a rest, a cup of tea, just a bit of a break on your journey wherever you're going, or some of them are actually police checkpoints where they'll stop you and maybe even do a breath test. Pretty unlikely though these days. I've never been breath tested in Thailand. So they really don't take the hard yards needed to really tackle their road toll. They do a little bit in the cinemas. I've noticed there are advertisements telling people to slow down, not to drink and drive, but it's, you know, compared to what we had in Australia during the 70s and 80s, where we were just flooded noon and night on TV, in cinemas, on road signs, on radio, every single conceivable way of marketing the message. The government spent zillions on the message of reducing the road toll, and it worked. It actually worked. They did it for 20 years, and they generationally changed Australians' approach to mostly the consumption of alcohol. That's what's needed here in Thailand, but I'm not really sure if the Thais are willing to well, stop the fun side of alcohol. There's a lot of powerful people owning some of these big alcohol companies, the Changs and the others, and they're not going to be happy if they're going to be suffering any lack of or loss of sales from people not drinking alcohol, one of the most insidious drugs, really. This carnage on the roads caused by, one, speed, and two, alcohol in various percentages from time to time. So a big problem for Thailand. Songkran really is just the exclamation mark behind the problem each year. What else we got? Morning from Sydney from Luke. Leon Waters. My first was in 1984 when I met my present wife while on deployment. Thank you very much. Some 40 years later, well done to you, Leon. Trevor Cunningham. Bleeding heck, Tim, had to grab my sonnies due to the T-shirt. It's pretty bright, isn't it? Yes. Just noticing how bright it is on screen. Going to the local temple with my wife, low-key celebration. Thanks, Don. And I think there's been a little bit of a switch, and I think a lot of people do like doing the traditional Songkran a bit more these days than they used to, especially foreigners. But they do tend to head out later in the day and have at least a quick squirt with the water pistol, and that's fine too. Tony Fossey, greetings from Airlie Beach. I went to Songkran last year, had the best time, but I've done it once and that's enough. But I wish everyone well. Have a fun, but please be safe. Morning from Surin, says MTL. Isan Songkran celebrations have been here now for a couple of days. Well, we'd like to know which. Oh, from Surin. There you go. Haven't seen anything here at all. There's a few stores with water pistols and Songkran shirts. But generally, I haven't seen a water gun used in anger yet. Hi, Tim, from Alabama, says VBC Medic. Wife's family from Sakon Nakhon, wishing I was there. Have a great day. John Kelly says, hey, Tim, I spent Songkran in the PP Islands a few years ago. After walking back from the viewpoint, I was soaked with cold water from the locals. Refreshing, especially in the 35-degree heat. That's the point this year. We just don't have the stinking hot weather. I mean, it's hot. It's always hot in Thailand. Well, unless you're up in the north over a couple of months earlier in the year. But this year, it does seem to be a little bit more, a little bit cooler, and people perhaps a little bit less inclined to want to spend the day soaking wet. A lot of people that go hard on Songkran, they may start at 10 or 11 in the morning. They get on the truck and off they go, and they go till sunset and beyond, and they spend the whole day soaking wet. You hope like hell there's not a lot of wind around, because then it would become quite cold and even unpleasant. Just Dina playing there. Spelling is a bit off when using Spelling is a bit of when using microphones. I'm not quite sure what you're saying. So goggles and a wetsuit. Probably a wetsuit's going a bit over the top. You might be a little bit uncomfortable spending more than a couple of hours in a wetsuit. Teddy Bear had 3 Songkrans. I'm done. Yeah, look, I used to go out and enjoy Songkran for maybe the first 2 or 3 years, but I'm sort of quite happy to avoid it these days. As I said earlier, I don't want to get my Armani suit wet. Afternoon, everyone, says Shane. Went to Songkran Festival last week here in Melbourne, Victoria, my hometown. Well, not so much Melbourne, but the outskirts of Melbourne. And apart from being amongst many Thai expats, the food was very pricey and there was no water fights. How can you possibly have Songkran without a water fight? Well, I mean, obviously the original idea of Songkran is not to have the water fight, but these days, if you're overseas and you think of Songkran, I'm pretty sure you're thinking about people running around with water pistols. Raz said, watched a dead dog float past a water pump in a canal during the water festival. VBC Medic, what's the white powder I've seen during the holiday? Okay, it's not cocaine or anything naughty. What it is, it's called prickly heat powder. I'm not quite sure what's in it, but it's a powder that sometimes they just put it in the water before they suck it up and squirt it, or they'll come up and put it on your face, or other times they'll just come over and they'll just be shaking it on your head. But it's prickly heat, so it actually sort of has not so much a sting, unless you get it in your eyes, then it hurts, but it makes your skin feel very warm. It's called prickly heat powder, I'm pretty sure. I'm absolutely positive we're going to get some people clarifying that for us. But thank you, Raz. Liberal ideas. Gee, you're asking for it. Anyone else find that the Thais are gentle and nice during this generally, but the Farangs tend to get drunk and aggressive? Yeah. I think some foreigners do take Songkran too far. The Thais are usually pretty sanook about the whole thing, pretty fun about enjoying Songkran. But I think there are some foreigners who just sort of, the fact that they've got a gun in their hand, they've had 7 beers and they just take it a little bit too far. So that's to be avoided. Brian Nicholson. Hi, Brian. Thank you for your emails and messages during the week. Hi, all from a wet and windy Brisbane. Happy to be missing Songkran this year. The uncles will be pissed by 10 a.m. and then the karaoke starts and none of them carry a tune. Ain't that the truth? That's a bit like Boxing Day in our family in the old days. The piano would get the lid taken off, or the guitar would come out, and people would be singing who really shouldn't be. I did have a very musical father. He could sing, and he used to run the army band during World War II. Up around Papua New Guinea, up into Malaysia, he used to tour the army band. He was the band leader. And he played 3 or 4 instruments. I learnt the piano, which was the one instrument he couldn't play. But anyway, he did his part. I don't think he ever saw a moment on the front line, but he certainly served his country well by bringing a little bit of joy to the troops. Luke Manton, the best advice I can give is wear some shoes that are non-slip. That's a good point too. I've been caught before. It's like ice skating in bowling shoes. Thanks, Luke. Mr. Doodle, where the crap is the sun? Got in from... There we go. We're going to have a lot of this. Oh, I've lost my train of thought here. Got in from Melbourne 4 days ago. No sun. How do I get my tan on? Mr. Doodle, I need to know where you are so I can give you an accurate weather report. I've got some very, very good friends. Old school friend of mine. I went to school at least 10 years ago. So Graham and Anita are coming up. I've known them for a long, long time. And they're going to be staying with us for a couple of weeks. So I'm just tickled pink with that. But I'm hoping we can turn a bit of sunshine on from them, because they'll be coming out from Melbourne, which starts to cool down this time of the year. They'll be wanting to see a bit of sunshine as well. Sorry about that, Mr. Doodle, but I'd like to know where you are. Stay safe, people, says M. Maranta. Happy Songkran, everybody, from Mazda Silva. Hi, Tim. Love your show. Thank you very much. It's a big enough umbrella, but it's always me who ends up getting wet. Tim, you are too old. Are you asking me whether I'm too old? No, look, it's not. I just find Songkran... Look, I don't care if people want to have some fun. I don't care if I'm driving along the car and they shoot the car with it. I just don't want to get wet. I'm usually sort of running around organising something, and I just find it a little bit inconvenient these days. But I'm very happy for the Thais to celebrate Songkran in any way they want, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. I'm very happy to sort of, scoot around it, or to find a route where I'm not going to get wet. But delighted for other people to enjoy it each year. I'm quite sabai, if you like, about the whole issue. The Queensland Tiger, my wildest Songkran memory, third-class train to Kanchanaburi, shows at the slows at the road crossing. Thai guy with a fire hose shooting gallons of water through the windows, or if you're from anywhere but the US, litres, into carriage, women screaming, floor flooded. Oh dear, that would be a bit of a... he must have given the train driver a few shekels to slow the train down. That would be a little bit inconvenient. Water is not good for your permed hair, says Dave the Dasher. 7-Eleven, optical specialists, yes. Thank you. Or as they say here, Sawan. I'm going to Sawan. So these sunglasses from Sawan. And I lose them. They get scratched or whatever. But thank heavens I don't go and buy real ones, because I'd lose them in 5 minutes. And these are perfectly good. As I said, most of them are polarised. Okay, I am a fan of $6 sunglasses as well. I've even used my UV tester to see, and they work. Yeah, I mean, they're perfectly good sunglasses. I mean, I know you can spend a lot more money on brand name sunglasses, but I'm not sure if they're really that much better. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. I noticed that there are many more condos for sale at the moment, both in Bangkok and Pattaya. Possibly people losing money on the market, says Dave the Dasher. I don't really think anything that's happened over the past couple of weeks in regards to these tariff wars are going to sort of be... I don't think anybody's going to go, that's it, I've had enough, I'm putting my condo up for sale. But it may be other more sort of deep-rooted problems with the market. But anyway, thank you for noting that. As I said, I'm not sure whether it's related to the matters over the past 10 days or so, but certainly I think we are going to see some fallout. Predicting the fallout is going to be the really difficult thing. I think what people expect to happen with these tariff wars is not what's going to happen. And other things will happen which will make people go, didn't think about that. Due to Mr. Trump's shenanigans, says Trevor Cunningham. I don't want to be criticised, or I don't want to be insulting the man, but we'll read what he's got to say. Affecting many of Thailand's would-be visitors, many will stay home and take a deep breath, as many of the super funds, etc., have taken a huge hit. Okay, yes, we'll sort of get to these matters as we go through. The Grim Reaper campaign, says Yaklama, referring to the 7 days of danger. We will have a talk about some of these other issues, which I'm linking to problems that we might be facing in Thailand, tourism-wise, post-Songkran. Hi, Tim, have Songkran party, says Super Stephen. Wow, welcome to Thailand. Welcome to Chiang Mai. Mr. Ben's World, thank you very much. I came to Cha Am. I really appreciate your super chat. Very kind of you. I came to Cha Am thinking the Songkran celebration would be more mellow. Well, it starts tonight and continues to next weekend. Even here in town, about 200 metres down the road, we've got our little town square on the beach town square, and they're setting up for a concert. I'm not sure whether there's going to be water pistols and foam parties or just some music, but they're certainly setting up for something. Phil Hogan, morning Tim, just seen a report on Cowsod English that 26 people rescued from a boat on fire near you, 16 of them tourists. I will check that out. Thank you very much. Cowsod English. Cowsodenglish.com. Thank you for alerting me. A drug lord gets death sentence. British mastermind, cannabis trafficking. China announces countermeasures. Jordanian French Thai nabbed in Phuket's drug weapons. Elder Germ number of dead. Mid-air theft. Chinese owned $0. I can't see anything. It might be on their Facebook page. I will go and see if I can find that story. But thank you very much for bringing us up to date. I'll be on a plane back to Thailand. Thank you, Phil. Kevin Cunningham, lots of fun for many, but the horrendous road toll each year makes me cringe at Songkran time. And look, I think we all agree with that. And it is certainly part of the downer. And it's all the sort of the activities linked to Songkran, the travelling, and of course the alcohol consumption that is causing the problems, not necessarily the going to the temple and celebrating or firing a water pistol at a passerby. But yeah. Christian says, Tim, speed and alcohol, you forgot a good portion of stupidity. Okay, morning, Tim. I got that. Thank you, Phil. I'll try and find that story in a moment. Robbie, prick powder. I think I need that for some people. I know. Prickly heat powder. Prickly heat powder. I think that's what it is. One thing I learnt, says Rahim, from previous visits to Thailand during Songkran, hold on to a cigarette. People tend not to soak you if they see you've got a cigarette. Well, they... Okay. I'll give it a try. I can walk down the street in my Armani suit with a cigarette. Don't touch me, I've got a cigarette. I don't know if that's going to work. Look, cigarette, you see? You can't throw a bucket of water on me. Okay, thank you, Rahim. Liberal ideas. I will change my online handle soon as it gets from 10 years ago now, but I'm waiting for something Thai-inspired to change it to. Choi D, okay. What brought you to Thailand originally? Tim, also love you and Steve on Sundays. Yes, we will be here tomorrow with Grumpy Old Men. Steve and I think we're going to be doing a live show like this. We might. I was going to sort of do it on the side of the road, but I thought, no. I don't need another bucket of water over my laptop. It cost me a lot of money last year. So we won't be doing that. I've got to click up there to get rid of that. So what brought me to Thailand originally? Okay, a few things. I'd entered into, back in the 1999-2000, I was travelling as the manager of a band. And we were touring Asia. And we were signed to Singapore and Malaysian Universal. And we used Thailand as our base because Thailand's sort of in the middle of Southeast Asia, get to Hong Kong, get to China where we went. It was sort of in the middle. And that was my first introduction to Thailand, and had some happy memories, and then had a few bad businesses. They weren't that bad. And I also was starting a boat building business in it's a long story. Anyway, it all went bad because of the 2008 sort of market crash and property crash, and I lost just about everything. So yeah, in about 2000, yes, it was God, I'm just trying to sort of think back that far and trying to get the timing right. But in 2011, I didn't have anything. And so I thought, what have I got to lose? I won't be able to afford to live in my home country as I get older or retire, so I'm going to go somewhere else. I like the beaches, so I came to Phuket. On my first day here, I got a job, and I've been working ever since. And Thailand's become my home, and I've now worked hard, and I'm in a much more secure position. I've decided to, all things being equal, and unless something comes out of left field, I'm going to stay here for the rest of my life as best I can. And I should be able to fund myself through that time, and without having to rely at all on the Australian pension. I've made a decision I'm not even going to try and apply for it. I'd have to go back and live in Australia for 2 years. Not going to happen. And I'm a bit worried if things get a bit tight with governments around the world, whether these pensions that people are living from overseas are going to continue to be paid. They're sort of one of the things I think would be first on the chopping block if there's going to be cuts in social security or pensions anywhere in the world. Australians, for example, do have quite a problem, one, getting the pension if they've been living overseas, and then getting it portable. Other people don't have any problem at all, but I'm not going to go through that. I'm self-funding my way through my latter years. This is one way that I do it, with YouTube, hoping I can pass on a little bit of experience and wisdom as I get a few more wrinkles. Not that many wrinkles, but a few. So yeah, it was a bad business, losing all my money on a boat building. We had a factory in China and everything, and we were signed up to provide 12 boats, 30-foot racing yachts for the Med Cup, and the Med Cup went belly up with the 2008 financial crisis, and I was stuck with a mould, a factory, and a couple of boats. I lost a lot of money. Okay, thank you very much to Daryl McGee. Always appreciate your support, Daryl. And Daryl says, happy Songkran, Tim, and everyone here. And really happy to have everybody dropping in and saying hello to us on a Saturday morning. We'll just get to the sort of end of these messages, and we'll have a talk about post-Songkran here in Thailand. Is Skywalk 78th floor opened? Skywalk 78th floor opened. I don't know about that. Kartik, I'm sorry I can't help you, but I'm sure somebody will be able to. Good morning. I've been watching the Icon Siam broadcast. Yes, certainly Icon Siam on the less fashionable side of the Chao Phraya River has some very big Songkran celebrations starting today. I think they're on the list for sure. On the list of links in the description. Phil Barnard, not convinced on the TDAC being done in the last 3 days before arrival, but a tip. Bangkok has 2 immigration lines plus a priority lane for the infirmed and monks. Are you suggesting don't worry about the TDAC, become a monk or become infirmed? I'm not sure. Look, the TDAC does start in 3 weeks' time. Everybody's going to have to fill it out online if they're a foreigner. Everybody who's a foreigner is going to have to fill it out if they're coming to Thailand after the 1st of May. So I think it's going to be a little bit messy for a couple of weeks, and everybody will be delighting in saying, I had such a hard time, they didn't understand this and it didn't upload, and just having a good old whinge about it. But it will settle down, and it looks like pretty much everywhere around the world in the next couple of years is going to have these digital entry systems for foreigners. You want to protect your borders? These are the sort of things we're going to have to go through in the future. You want to stop illegal immigration? Well, again, we're going to have to do more of these border protections, these digital protections, facial recognition. It's just part of the world which we're in now. So complain about it if you like. Say, I'm never coming back to Thailand again. But you'll find in the next couple of years that just about everywhere you go, you are going to be facing some sort of digital upload of information before you arrive in countries. What else have we got here? Okay. Off to play badminton, says Teddy Bear. Thank you. Gary Cross. Hi, Tim. Love your shows. I would love to work in Thailand. How do I do that? Do I qualify for a retirement visa but sooner work? Oh, I do qualify. Yeah, once you're over 50, you qualify for a retirement visa. but you have to have some 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account to qualify, and they will do that every year, where you have to sort of re-qualify every year when you renew your visa. A retirement visa is an annual renewal. You want to work in Thailand, you've got to find a company that's going to employ you and basically sponsor you with a B visa and a work permit. So that's what you do if you want to work in Thailand. You're just going to have to find a company, or you've got a lot of money yourself and you can come and open your own company, and that company, which would have a majority of Thai shareholders, would then issue you a B visa. A few people do that. Government don't like it. Immigration officers are a bit iffy about those things these days. It's not technically legal, but a lot of people still do it, and you can get around it if you've got a good Thai lawyer. If you've been employed in Thailand in the past, it's a lot easier to get the B visa and the work permit. I have heard about. Tim, don't thump the desk. Sends my subwoofer crazy. You knew I'd do that. Question, what did the American professor did wrong to get arrested of lèse-majesté law? Okay, now, I can speak about this, and then again I can't speak about this. Probably I'll do a special report about it, but an American professor is now out on bail, having been arrested on lèse-majesté charges. It was some blog he did a long time ago, the contents of which the Thai press can't publish, because then they would also be have a liability in regards to their reporting if they reported what he wrote about. Now, obviously, he was critical of the Thai monarchy. That's a bit of a no-no in this country. And he was arrested. He's now out on bail on his own surety. I think he's had to pay 500,000 baht or something, 200,000 baht. I can't remember off the top of my head. He's also having to wear one of those bracelets, the ankle bracelets, so they can track him. And he's going to have to sit in front of a court and face charges. Now, interestingly, I think that is going to become an interesting pawn in the chess game in regards to negotiations for Thai tariffs. Now, you can count me in on this one if I've got that right, but I would suggest that there will be concessions perhaps made in regards to Thai tariffs for some deal being worked out for this particular gentleman. Anyway, I will have more to say about that during the week, and it is difficult to report on that one because we can't actually point out exactly what he wrote that has brought him into disfavour with Thai officials. So walked around that one pretty well. Good morning, Tim, all the way from Chaya and district of Suratani. Happy Songkran to all, be safe. Is there still a separate queue at Bangkok airport for arrivals of people over 75? Asked Roger Laser. I didn't know there was one. I'm not aware of that. I'm sorry, Roger. But I can't say I've actually ever seen that. But I think if you're of that age and you go to the queue for diplomats, flight crews, I don't know, if you sort of went there and, looked a bit older than 75, they'll probably let you through. Thais usually have quite a good heart when it comes to elderly people. Mr. Ben's World talking about digital entries. I wonder how I would do that if everybody comes up with... Now, what if I went to Singapore one day and I was wearing green lycra and it was 28 degrees and I'd had one coffee in the morning? Do I have to do the digital entry? Yeah, probably. Anyway, Mr. Ben's World, I wonder how I would do that if I was leaving Thailand for a couple of days and couldn't submit the form 3 days in advance. Okay, so they've already said that if you do arrive without having submitted your DTAC, not DTAC, your TDAC, Digital Thailand Arrival, something or other, I've forgotten it already, then you will be able to do it. They're going to have kiosks where you can do it before you get to immigration. But if you want to get to the front of that immigration queue, you don't want to be stopping going, oh, God, I have to get my passport out. Where's my plane ticket? Oh, God, I don't know how to answer that question. So, or they said in exceptional circumstances you'd be able to go to an immigration counter, but just do whatever you can to get that TDAC, Digital Arrival Card, filled out before you come, and you can do it in the 3 days before your arrival date. Been staring at you for a while as something familiar. Just realised I have the same shirt. Bought at M&S in Bangkok some time ago. M&S? Do you mean H&M? I can't remember where I got this. I applied for TDAC 4 days ago. It's still processing. Give yourself extra days to get one, says Dave the Dasher. And Dave also says to Roger, yes, over 75 and disabled is still there. So that's good. I've never sort of seen it. But yeah, it looks like if you arrive at Suvarnabhumi, there's an over 75 and disabled lane. So good luck to you, and thank you, Dave. Not sure why my comments disappear, says Thomas Erickson. I haven't seen any of your comments, Thomas. I certainly haven't been deleting them. If you say something naughty, YouTube might delete them before they even get on this chat. But I haven't seen your comments, Thomas. Over 75 with Viagra. Not sure what you're talking about. Get out of the way. Looking for Daisy. She didn't accept my pawback request. M&S, Marks and Spencer. There you go. Daisy, do you want to come and say... No, she doesn't. Okay, there you go. Let's just have a quick talk about headwinds. I mentioned it's already been a wet start to Songkran this year, and I'm not sure if the rain might perhaps temper some of the celebrations. Having said that, it looks like it's going to be good weather in Bangkok. That would mean Pattaya probably as well over the next few days. But here, last night, I think we had all of the average of April rain just in the one night. Days off for Songkran is going to be tomorrow, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're all official days off in Thailand. Now, if you go to shopping centres, you'll still be able to go to the bank in the shopping centre. Shopping centres, of course, will be open throughout. But a lot of your usual little bakeries and coffee shops and shops might be closed as the family goes up country. 7-Elevens will be open. The Thai baht. Now, the Thai baht, I've been trying to track it over the past few days. It was going, down against the US dollar. Then it started spiking up again. It depends exactly if the President of the United States sneezes or not as to whether the Thai baht is going up against the US dollar on any particular day. It's particularly hard to track. However, the Thai baht has been generally high against other currencies for the past 3 or 4 months. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to pan out. But some thought that the Thai baht... What are you woofing about? Come on, come and say hello. See if Daisy wants to say hello. But I'm just not sure. I don't think anybody can predict, no, she's not going to come, exactly what's going to happen with the Thai baht versus any other currencies. It is all over the place at the moment. Your share portfolio going up and down like a roller coaster. So good luck. We're all sort of waking up each morning. There is so much news. It's hard to know exactly what to read, what to watch for. But just hope like hell things do settle down a bit. Are you going to come and say hello, Daisy? Daisy, come here. Come on. You're one of those moods. High airfares. There's still high airfares around. The airfares certainly haven't dropped. Now, as Thailand enters its low season, is also the time of the year where the Northern Hemisphere is having its hotter weather, its summer season, and some holidays. So it's usually a time for higher airfares. So I'm not really sure if getting to Thailand is going to be any cheaper in the short term. So I think we've got to also recognise that. And of course, beyond anything else, it's also the wet season. And it is traditionally a time when Thai tourism slows down a bit. Now, certainly on a stretch of road like here, we're on a beach. It's very beach oriented. We're out of Phuket. So you've got to make the effort to come here, and there is going to be fairly, or not fairly strong, but there's going to be stronger winds coming in from the southwest. Makes it less easy and in some cases quite dangerous to swim here, but it's still a really nice place to visit. There's still plenty of opportunities to go to the beach, still plenty of sunshine, with maybe a break in the day for 10 minutes or half an hour, but it's still a great time of the year to visit. Usually with the rise, especially of Chinese tourism over the past 10 years, that's sort of wiped out the old idea of a low season, because the Chinese would generally come here in the middle of the year and up to their golden week. I think that's in September or October. And of course, they come in spades for the Chinese New Year. So exactly what's going to happen for Thai tourism post Songkran, I think it's going to be a little bit subdued. They were expecting this year that they might be able to top the tourism numbers from 2019. That's the year that we had 39,600,000, nearly 40 million foreign tourists come to Thailand. Now, start of this year, the first 2 or 3 months, was very busy, and I'm pretty sure the TAT were starting to get the champagne ready to put in the fridge, thinking that by the end of the year they would top the 40 million. I'm pretty convinced that we're not going to reach that number anymore. But anyway, we'll just have to see how we go. And as far as the tariff war is concerned, it's very, very difficult to figure out how that's going to play out. My gut feeling is that despite all the hoopla and the doom and gloom in the media and the spin put on it by the US government, I think that it's going to have minimal effect to you and me on a daily basis. I think costs will go up for consumers in the US, no doubt. But all these countries that are being targeted with these higher tariffs, they are going to speak to the other 170 countries and try and sort of raise the bar regarding tourism in those. Sorry, I'm reading messages and talking regarding trade with those other countries, and perhaps pivot away a bit from US trade whilst they're working out. And I'm pretty sure that there will be discussions with trade officials, but that's not going to happen in weeks or months. It's going to take probably up to a year for those trade talks to happen, because one side's going to come up with an offer, and then there's going to be a counter offer, and we can do this but we can't do that. It's not as if there's one tariff for everything. There's different tariffs on different objects. Some things don't have any tariffs at all. Some have very high tariffs, things like cars, for example, or luxury cars. So I just don't really see this being worked out anytime soon. And if people sort of want a nice, clean, black and white response to what's going on, that's not going to happen. So as regards what's going to happen for you and me, I think we just get on with our lives and let the people who are paid much more than you or I to figure this out. But I don't think it's going to affect you or I directly much in the short term. In the longer term, yes, there are going to be changes to probably the way the world works, but I don't think anybody can really predict it. Despite people saying that they think they can predict it, I don't think anybody really knows how this is going to wash out, because there are just so many moving parts, and so many countries involved, and different countries will make different decisions. Essentially, it's the US and China, and then there's everybody else. So it's what happens between those two countries. And as I pointed out the other day, and I suppose we'll leave this to the end. Sorry, just reading some messages at the same time. I don't know why I do this with all these screens bleeping at me and distracting me. But I wrote a little thing on Facebook the other day, and I'm not meaning to be poking too much fun, or speaking of poking, but I made two notable I made 2 points. One, when it comes to business and you've got an Asian and anybody else, I'd always back the Asian when it comes to business. And the other thing and this is from years of experience, and the other thing I'd do is go back to the old saying is, don't poke the dragon. So, and you can read up about that particular saying that's been around for years, but just be very careful when you start poking the dragon. So, good luck with all that. Hopefully we'll get through all this together. As I said, despite the doom and gloom, I mean, the sun will come up tomorrow. People will still be travelling. There's going to be a bit happening here, there, and a bit happening there, and some people are going to be more affected. Most people are going to be less affected than others. We're just really going to have to see what happens. And of course, the US government might tomorrow go, oh, well, we've decided we're not going to go through with these tariffs. I mean, who knows? So many changes just over the past 10 days. It's hard to keep track, and making it very unpredictable for you, making it unpredictable for the markets, making it unpredictable for the leaders and the decision makers in other countries. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Songkran, Sawadi Pi Mai. There are links in the description below for Pattaya, Bangkok, Chiang Mai and Phuket for events, for the party goers and also for families. Enjoy yourself, be careful on the roads, and we'll see you at the end of all this. Take care.